Feeling guilty because you did what you wanted to do. Oh no. Oh crap. Man. Tonight I have been feeling guilty because I did the thing I wanted to do. And what a life I live. It's almost as if I feel like if I'm not suffering, if I'm not martyring myself, then I'm doing the wrong thing. Like if I reduce my own pain and suffering, then I'm doing something wrong. Basically, I was at a meeting tonight. We all love meetings, right? You sit around, you waste a lot of time while you listen to people talk. It's fantastic. It had to do with my side gig. And I know I talk about my side gig a decent amount, and I'm mum on the details. And I don't do that to be cagey, but it's just kind of like, if anything, I worry that people who are involved in the side gig will somehow stumble across my channel, and I just don't want to talk about it that specifically. I hope you don't mind. At any rate, it was a meeting, and I was at this meeting already for an hour and a half, and then the meeting was probably going to go on another hour and a half to 2 hours, and my portion was done. There was nothing else I needed to do at this meeting, and whether I was there or not, I would get nothing out of being there. No one else would get anything out of me being there. There were a few other people who were in my same boat who didn't need to be there for these last 2 hours. And man, the room was hot. There was no air conditioning. It's like 90 degrees outside. There's like 20 people in the room. And I started to get a headache too, man. And I went up to one of my friends was there. He didn't need to be there either for the rest of it. And I was like, "Hey man, are you staying for the rest of this?" And he was like, "Hey, I'll leave if you leave." So in solidarity, we went up to the head honcho of the meeting, if you will, and said to him, "Hey, do you mind if we leave?" And I added, "Oh, yeah, I've got this headache all of a sudden," and I shouldn't have said that. It was true. I wasn't making it up. But then my friend was like, all of a sudden he was like, "Oh wait, actually, I've changed my mind. I think I'll stay." You know what I did? I threw him under the bus because he didn't have a headache. So I have an excuse now. He doesn't. He just wanted to leave. If I had just said I want to leave, then I could have saved him. But no. And the head honcho, the guy we were asking permission from, he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, if you don't need to be here." And I wasn't sure if he meant it or not. If I really needed to be there, I don't need to be there. But I couldn't tell if he was disappointed that I was leaving or if he didn't care. And see, that's the thing, is the spotlight effect. I feel like I matter so much to everyone else, but honestly, he probably couldn't give a rat's patootie if I left or not, but I have no idea. The other thing is, there were all these other jokers and clowns who were there who didn't need to be there, but they were going to stay anyway and suffer. And I was like, it's one of those things where, should I just stay and suffer because they're here and suffering? I mean, we don't need to. There were people at that meeting who needed to be there. I was not one of them. So I left. And I felt really bad afterwards. Like I should have stayed behind. And that I was being selfish by getting myself out of this situation that was really uncomfortable. Where I had a headache. And, that was the other thing. It's as soon as I said it, I was like, that was so weak. Why did I need to add the headache thing? I hate it when people use that as an excuse. Like, I feel sick, I have a headache. And look, I had a headache. It hurt. But I guess I'm the kind of person where it's like, if I'm not going blind in one eye or something like that, I feel like I should suck it up. So even though I was really having this headache, I felt like I was exaggerating and I should have just sucked it up. But, I don't know. I think I have such a high tolerance for pain or an ability to suffer through it that for me, a headache that's maybe a 4 or a 5 out of 10, to someone else, they might say it's a 7 or an 8 and they would have to go lie down. I'm just good at handling stuff. And my whole life, I don't know if I was surrounded by these kind of people when I was a kid or what, or if it was from my time in the Boy Scouts, but it's like, you know, unless you need to go to the hospital, you have no excuse if you're feeling bad. You know, you just got to troop through it. Anyway, and the headache was self-induced accidentally, and it was a headache from dehydration. Basically, I had too much coffee today, and not enough water, if you will. That's how the flex tape guy pronounces it. It even works underwater. Well, and what better way to accentuate my freak out right now and my ramblin' rant than to have a quick commercial break? Do you find meetings with other human beings to be a pointless waste of your time? If so, we have a new product for you. It's called the telephone. We also have a sister product called email or electronic mail. Please pass this along to your supervisor and or manager. Thanks for sitting through that. The other thing was, this is going out on a limb, and I'm going to offend a lot of people by saying this, and I'm going to get ridiculed also, but the guy who I keep calling the head honcho, which sounds stupid, but I'm going to stick with it, the guy who was in charge of this project, the guy who said, yeah, you can leave if you want, I feel like, if we can go into Myers-Briggs mode for a moment, I feel like I am good at picking up on people who have introverted feeling. I could be wrong. A lot of my critics like to say that I'm an INFP, which would be ironic if I was and thought that I could identify introverted feeling. I don't think I am, though. But anyway, irregardless of what I am, it doesn't matter. In other people, I feel like I can pick up on introverted versus extroverted feeling fairly easily. There's just a feeling you get. And this guy, I think, had the introverted feeling. And when you're dealing with an introverted feeler, no offense to any of you introverted feelers, but it makes me feel like I don't know what you actually think about me. It's like, do you hate me? Or do you like me? Are you just tolerating my existence? I don't know. Well, I'm very confused. And it's not because they're expressionless. It's because they're giving this expression as though they like you, but it's so, tepid that it feels like it's not real. And I'm not blaming you. It's fine. It really is. But to me, it's just kind of off-putting. With an extroverted feeler, you know where you stand, or at least they're acting their butt off, and you don't know. Introverted feeler, they play their cards closer to the vest. If that's not the correct saying, is it? They hold their hand close to, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, I think. Anyway, that was a side tangent. That's gonna get me a side tangent as opposed to a main tangent. Come on, Frank. Come on, man. People are going to make fun of me. So I do this all the time where I didn't want to be at this meeting. Even if I didn't have a headache, I wouldn't want to be there. And like 5 years ago, let's say, maybe longer, I would have just stayed and suffered through it. But as of late, I have been developing this lower and lower tolerance of doing things I don't want to do for no other reason than trying to fit in with everyone else. My whole life I've done stuff like this where it's like, well, I don't want people to think poorly of me. And that's the thing, is like, I was putting myself out there. By leaving early, it was like, I didn't really need to be there. Maybe some people would have said that I should have been there for the rest of the meeting. But it's like I was setting myself up as though I thought I was better than everyone else. The other people who didn't need to be there but stayed. Because it's like, I'm not going to stay for this. Here they are. They're suffering in the sweltering heat. And me, I think I'm too good for it. I need to get out. Yeah. So apparently this vlog is very different today. It's just a rant. Let me know if you suffer silently just because you don't want to say anything. Let me know anything I said. Should I have just sat through that with that meeting with the headache and in the 90-degree weather? I mean, come on. Can you imagine writing the Declaration of Independence in that heat, wearing those clothes? I can't. I don't know if I'm gonna even post this video. This is what you get when you vlog every day. You occasionally get something like this where, yeah, okay. Thanks so much for watching. Give it a like. Give it a thumbs up for good luck. I'm single-handedly destroying my channel right now. Alright, take care. Have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, it was 90 degrees in that meeting today. Well, I don't know the point of me being there, but I feel guilty I didn't stay.